What's going on, everybody? Tim here, back with another video. Just out taking a walk like I love to do. Walking is one of the joys in my life. Today we are actually in Boulder, Colorado, okay? And we're actually on Pearl Street, which is a pretty famous street here downtown, but the crazy, lively, happening end is down that way. We're here just kind of in the residential part of it. Like twice a week or so, I'll hop on the bus in downtown Denver. I'll take the bus to Boulder. I'll get off the bus. It's like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour ride. I'll hop off the bus and then I'll just like walk around, Boulder for a little bit. And then I'll get back on the bus and go back to Denver. Sometimes I literally will get off the bus, go use the bathroom in the bus station, and then like get back on the bus. And sometimes it'll be like the same driver who literally like just drove me there and then like sees me hop right back on the bus. But what's this guy doing? Anyway, I just like to be out and about, just being in different cities, different places, taking walks. That's what I do. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about sobriety. And I wanted to talk about the reason why I no longer make sobriety videos, or why I haven't made a sobriety video in a long time. And I know the title's kind of clickbaity. when you, or at least when you hear my answer, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't what I expected, possibly. But the reason I don't make sobriety content anymore is because like, I've just been sober so long, I don't think about sobriety. And this is really why I wanted to make this video, is because I wanted to let you know that it is possible. I have just been sober so long, it's 6 years and counting, #blessed, that I don't think about sobriety anymore. And so if you're a content creator, you learn that the best videos are the ones that are ones where you're talking about something you really know a lot about, and the ones where like you talk about something you're going through at the current moment, okay? So it's just like, if I'm really not thinking about like sobriety and the struggle, like there's only so much I can say sometimes, if I'm trying to make myself do a sobriety video, you know what I'm saying? But like back when I was first going through it, and when it was still kind of fresh, I had, maybe a few months in, a year or so in, when there were still like struggles that happened a lot more or crossed my mind a lot more, it was easier to make sobriety content because like I was going through it. But now like, I'm just like, I don't even think about drinking. I don't think about sobriety. I just don't drink. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if there's a food you eat that you don't like, you don't think about the fact that you don't eat it. You know what I mean? Like you just don't eat okra. You know what I mean? Like you don't, it's not a thing. And sometimes I do find it interesting that there are people who have been sober for years and years and years, and it's still a big part of their life. Like, you know what I mean? They're always bringing it up. They're always talking about it. And, we all get through this life the way we have to, but I'm like, it almost seems like you're still hanging on. You know what I mean? For me, I've just like let go. Like it's not a part of my life. I don't think about it anymore. That's why like if I'm doing a live stream and someone asks me something about sobriety, it's easy because like if someone asks me something, I can pull on past experience and share whatever knowledge I might have. But as far as just like coming off the dome about a sobriety topic, like, I don't really think about it, Honestly, the only reason this video popped in my head is because I've been trying to quit caffeine, and it and it reminded me of the struggle. Okay, I was like, oh, I've been through this before when I was trying to quit drinking. I'm like, oh, that when you're like, I'm not doing that no more, and then 2 days later, you're just like, man, I need a coffee. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that same struggle, like when I was trying to quit drinking. Which is actually is good because I can draw on that past experience. So like now I know I'm gonna quit caffeine. It's just a matter of time. Cause I'm like, if I could quit drinking, I can quit caffeine, right? Caffeine's got its own little, it might actually be a little harder because it's more socially acceptable. You see it around you all times of the day. I don't know, might be a little harder, but we're going to do it eventually. But I'm giving myself a lot of grace because I know it's going to happen. I know how to do it. And I'm just going to let it happen naturally. But that reminded me of like, oh, I remember the same, this same battle, when I was trying to quit drinking, because I kind of forgot how it felt. And I don't say that as like a bragging kind of like, I don't have to worry about it no more. I say it to say that like anybody who's watching this, who's still in the struggle, it is possible to get to a point where you don't even think about it no more, right? It is possible to get to a point where like alcohol is not even a part of your life, a part of your diet, or a part of your thought process anymore. You can get that way. A couple years, you can get to the point where like you have to be reminded that that was something you used to struggle with. Or it's very rare that like you come in a situation where you're like, oh man, I'm kind of tempted to drink right now. That's weird. That doesn't happen no more. One of the things that like I have an issue with a lot of the organizations that deal with sobriety, or a lot of the messaging around sobriety is this whole like once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic type of thing. I've had people like argue this with me who never even had a drinking problem, right? This is not true, folks. For some people it might be, but that does not have to be true for you. That does not have to be a part of your sobriety journey where you just have to surrender to the fact that you're always going to want to drink. No. Is that some people's journey? I'm sure it is. It does not have to be everybody's journey. I'm here to tell you, you can get something out of your life and it's gone. That's why one of my biggest analogies for like drinking and sobriety is like relationships. Okay? Of course, when you're really in love with someone, you think you can't ever live without them. And if that relationship goes south, y'all break up with each other, it's very painful. The longer y'all been together, the harder it is to like break free from that person. The harder the more pain, the anguish is hard. But we all know that eventually, as enough time passes, you get to the place where you don't think about that person no more. People be married for decades, get divorced, or their partner might die or something like that, and then 5 years later they remarry, and they might be like, hey, now if it was divorce, they might be like, I totally forgot about that person. But like even people who like lost a mate, even when they're like, hey, like I don't, I still remember that person fondly, but it's not like it's an issue every day. You know what I mean? That you move on. You can be in love with someone and think you could never possibly live without them. And then when they're out of your life long enough, you can move on, right? It's the same with like alcohol. I don't know what we believe this thing of like, oh, I'm always going to have to deal with this. This is always going to be a problem in my life. No. By the way, I'm not crying. My eyes just water when it's windy and it's cold. Don't know why. But yeah, it's like you can get to a point where like it's just a kind of a footnote in your past. Like literally when I talk to people from back home sometimes, and we start talking about, the good old days and other stuff that used to happen, I've even forgot about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. I did do that. That's crazy. And it doesn't conjure up any desire to go back to that. It's like you might think fondly back to college or back to high school, but you ain't trying to go back. You know what I mean? It's the same. So please don't think, once again, for anybody who's in the middle of the struggle, for anybody who thinks it's impossible, it definitely is possible. The relapsing is part of it. The fact that like, I hear from people all the time, like, man, I just can't do it. We all said that. This idea that some people quit cold turkey and like, in like 2 days they're done. We all said we couldn't do it. We all thought it was impossible. One day it became possible because we just kept quitting until we quit. And also you get, what's going on here? People, is it that hard to park? And it's possible to like get to a place where like, it's just not like that for you anymore. I mean, that's just human nature. There's nothing in this world. I don't care what it is. There's nothing in this world that if you go long enough without it, you're still going to crave it as the day after you stopped. You can ask any doctor, you can ask any psychologist, psychiatrist. There's nothing in this world that if you stop it and you don't do it for 3 years, you're going to crave it as much as day one on day 719. That's just not the way the world is set up. And that's why, I don't really like, I appreciate that, people got something out of the sobriety content. Talking about this is one of the things that means the most to me, because I know how hard the struggle was. I know how it was ruining my life. Y'all didn't see my videos of all the stuff I was going through, jail, ruined relationships, ruined friendships. Just embarrassment from your behavior. People don't want to be around you. People don't want to give you ride homes after the bar because you pass out and pee on the seats, all that kind of craziness. Can't hold a job, boss getting mad at you, about to lose your job, all of that. I've been there. So it means a lot to me to be able to make content saying it doesn't have to be that way forever. But like, I just don't, we get into the interesting part of Pearl Street now. Okay, I don't know how much longer I'm a film. I might show y'all some of this. I'm stopped at the light right now, so that's why we stopped. But I just honestly don't think about it no more. Like, I got other stuff to you know what I mean? That's the way what life is. You move on, you got other stuff to worry about. That's done. We moved on from that. We got other things to conquer. As I mentioned, one of the things I'm slowing up my caffeine intake. A couple other things that I've been trying to improve, and I'm actually doing very well on. But some of them personal. We ain't really putting that out there. But that's life. You'll get that behind you, and you'll move on to something else, man. Like, don't think the whole rest of your life is gonna be you worried about this drinking thing. Nah, you'll get to a place where, like, you might even forget you went through it. Somebody have to remind you. Like, wasn't you drinking back in 2024? Wasn't you drinking? You like, me? What that was? Oh yeah. We did have that thing. Life is amazingly built that way, that like nothing is permanent. This can just be a footnote, a chapter in your life, a phase in your life that you move on from. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off because they starting to play music and all that, and I don't want to get a copyright strike. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later.